proud to have Rachel on the call tonight, and I would love for her to share a little bit about her story, just because I think it's super empowering. And then she's going to go right into the meat of this. And I'm actually going to go ahead and click off my video, but I'll hop back on in a minute because I look so pretty today. All right.
Oh my gosh, thank you for that introduction. That was amazing. And I'm like so excited to talk to you.
I can't hear you, girly. Oh, there you are. Good.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. Oh my gosh. Thank you for that introduction. That was like amazing. And I'm super excited to talk to you guys tonight just about this. And I'm certainly no expert at Facebook, but I'm just going to share with you what I've learned in the last couple months or 10 months of trying to make this work and watching lots of trainings on how to do it and, failing forward, because I've definitely posted some ridiculous stuff on Facebook and I've started to see what works and what doesn't. So, but I guess I'll just back up for a second and tell you a little bit about my story. A lot of you already know this, but I was a public defender, so a criminal defense attorney for 5 years before becoming a coach. And I actually quit my job in January of 2013? No, 2014. So it's been a year and a half since I quit. And when I quit, I was just really stressed out. And I had been doing like felony jury trials for a year and a half back to back. And I loved it in a lot of ways, but I knew it was something that I couldn't sustain forever. I just was kind of getting to the place where I was finding that I was just totally unhealthy.
Rachel, hold on 1 second. I'm going to mute everybody and unmute you. Hold on.
Okay, thanks.
Sorry. Okay, Rachel, you can go ahead and actually you have to unmute yourself, but everybody else is muted. Sorry, guys.
Okay. Okay, sorry. So I didn't hear the last thing I said. So I was, going along like on a successful track with my lawyer job and doing felony trials and just like working like crazy hours and really like living in this work hard, play hard mentality. So I was, getting up in the morning, drinking 4 cups of coffee, putting on my suit and heels, going in and doing a lot of intense stuff, trials, dealing with crazy people with mental health issues and just working so hard. And then at the end of the day, and then I like wouldn't eat all day, or I'd eat like a yogurt. And then I would get off work and go to happy hour and eat like fried food and drink a bunch of wine, and then wake up feeling like crap and drink a bunch of coffee and do it all over again. And it just got to the point where I was like so stressed out all the time that I couldn't focus. I couldn't be present with my family. I couldn't have a life basically. And every time I was off work and it was time to chill out, I just was drinking because I was like, that was the only way that I could like disconnect from all the responsibilities I had. And I constantly felt like I worked so hard, but I never was good enough at my job. And I just realized that I would never feel like super successful at it because it's kind of a losing battle when you're a public defender. You have to get used to losing a lot. And the whole thing was just taking such a toll on my health that I had already decided I was going to pursue something else. I didn't even know what I was going to do, but I made the scary leap of faith to quit in January of last year and go to holistic health school and just kind of figure out like, how can I like do something where I'm going to be taking care of my own health? So I cashed out all my retirement accounts and I knew I had about 9 months to support myself on those and figure out what I was going to do. So that's where I was at when I found Emma and decided to take a risk on Beachbody coaching. And I honestly thought it was going to be like a hobby. Like I was just going to do it as a side business to keep myself healthy while I was pursuing becoming a coach. And I envisioned doing more like one-on-one coaching or maybe blogging. I didn't know, but
Rachel,
right when I started
I just got chills because you said words like, I cashed out all of my retirement to chase my dreams. Like talk about being all in, right? Like think about that for a minute. I've cashed in my 401k too before. I'm so glad I did now, but Okay, I just had to pause you for a second because that is so amazing. Anyway, keep going. Your story just gives me chills.
Yeah. It was super scary, and I had been considering it for like honestly like probably a year and a half. But I didn't see a way out. Like, you know, I had trained so hard to do this one specific thing, and when I would fantasize about leaving, I remember like looking online for other types of jobs, and I felt like I wasn't even qualified to do anything else. And actually, like, I think my aha moment came. I had started doing yoga and like dabbling in other kinds of healthy pursuits, and I actually quit yoga at one point because the pain of wishing that I could live that different life was so real when I was in yoga, because I wanted to like be a yoga teacher or just like do something where I could be in touch with my body. It was so real, that feeling, that like hurt, that I stopped going to yoga for a while, because I just couldn't handle feeling like that's the life I really wanted. And so anyways, that's a side note, but the leap of faith came when I was like sitting in my office and I had just finished this trial, and I was like thinking, I have to get out of here. Like, I just don't feel like myself. I was like kind of overweight. I had neck problems from sitting at my desk all the time. And I remember thinking like, this is it for me. Like, there's nothing else that I can do. Like, I don't even see any options. And that's when I knew, like, if I don't just take the leap now before I know exactly where I'm going, I won't do it at all. Like, I'll be stuck here without, you know, having the time or space to figure it out. Like, I basically knew that I had to give myself time and space to figure it out. So anyways, so I did. And in my searching, you know, I found Emma's page and I started doing this. So like I said, it was going to be a hobby. And then when I did my first challenge group, I was like, oh, well, this is actually like really cool. This is really fun. And I was still pursuing my other stuff. So for a while I was blogging, I was seeing private health coaching clients and doing Beachbody coaching. And it was all like too much. I had too many irons in the fire. And so I had to make a decision, like, which one of these things do I really want to focus on? And this, like, to me, what seemed like the most structured, you know, financially promising opportunities. So I basically dropped my blog and didn't take on any more private clients and just focused all my efforts on this. So that's kind of what I've been doing for the last 10 months. And I'm so glad that I did, because I'm able to use all the things I learned at coaching school with my challengers, and it adds a lot of value to what I'm doing. Not that you have to be a health coach at all to do this, but whatever you bring to the table makes you unique. And that's kind of ties right into what we're going to talk about with Facebook stuff. So I'm going to share on my screen. Okay. So how to kick ass on Facebook. Like I said, like, I'm definitely not an expert on this, but I have, you know, figured out a few things that work. And I definitely keep track of my posts on my like page, and I watch like, okay, that got 0 likes, so I'm definitely not going to do that again. Oh, this got like 500 engagements, so that's a win. So, you know, you just kind of watch what you're doing and keep track of what you're doing, because that'll help you figure out what works and what doesn't. So my journey so far, I just kind of told you guys my story, but I picked some photos that on the left, like, that was one of my really early on photos. So you can kind of see it's like not the best quality photo, and the writing is like small. It doesn't really make sense the way the writing is on the photo. And you don't have to be like professional graphic designer or anything, but you'll see as we go on that I kind of get better at how to put text on photos. And that's something you can teach yourself. You know, when I started doing this, I wasn't even following any top coaches because I didn't really know what this was about or who to follow. Obviously I was following Emma, but she was really my only example. And I was just like, I didn't even know what apps to use. So it was kind of trial and error. But as I went along, like, I feel like my photos got a little bit better. And yeah, so basically, I guess the point of that is that you will evolve as you go for this, you know, as you start sharing your journey on Facebook. When I started doing this, I was super uncomfortable sharing on Facebook because coming from a position where I was kind of in a public, you know, my job was kind of public, at least locally. So I felt really like private about my Facebook. Like, I didn't share a lot on Facebook because in the legal community and just in my local community, I didn't want people to recognize me, and I tried to keep it really professional. So the thought of sharing like photos of myself sweaty after a workout or wearing a sports bra. Like, I was like, no way will I ever do that. But, you know, as you do a little bit here and there, you really do get more comfortable, and you start to realize, or what I started to realize is that what I thought was everything, which was the courthouse and all my legal community, it's such a small bubble, you know. Your reach is actually so much bigger. And sometimes your people that are the closest to you are going to be your worst critics. So it's important to remember that it's a huge wide world out there, and you're going to attract people to you based on what you have in common with them. So try not to worry about what people who know you think, because you'll see the further you go, the less it matters. So just go for it. You know, you're going to post some things that maybe you're like, oh, that didn't work, but you have to just go for it and see what works. But you can also be strategic, which is why you're here. So here's a few things not to do. So we're going to start with just a couple things not to do on Facebook. So don't post messy, unattractive, dark, blurry photos. Like, this might seem really obvious, and so I apologize for that, but it's true. Like, sometimes you'll see people's pictures of their food on Facebook and it's like messy, like the plate is all dirty on the side, or like the light's really bad, or there's some terrible shadow. And, you know, it's okay. Like, not all of your photos are going to be perfect, but make an effort. You know, now with our iPhones, the cameras on those are really good, and you can edit them before you post them. So even if the light isn't good, you know, you can fix that. You can like tweak it before you post it. But ask yourself, you know, people are scrolling through the news feed at a pretty high rate of speed. So ask yourself, would this photo catch my eye if I was looking at Facebook? So this photo to the right, this is an example of something that I posted super early on when I was like, I just need to post something. And I actually took a photo of a magazine picture and posted it. And of course it got no engagement, because it's like a photo of a magazine picture, like super bad. So don't do that. Okay, Uplink. Sorry, there's a typo in there. Don't copy your upline is supposed to say, coach's post, or any other coach's post. Like, obviously you want to follow coaches, top coaches, follow your upline, follow other coaches, but don't copy them, because, you know, chances are that between you and your upline, you have some of the same audience. So you don't want them to see that both of you are posting the same thing. You want it to sound like you know, because if you take someone else's words and put it onto your Facebook post, it's not going to sound authentic, and people know you and they're there for you. So you want to make it your own. So when you do find a post that's inspiring to you and you want to post something similar, you know, figure out what it is you like about that post, like the message, or you like the way they described Shakeology, or you like the way that they connected with the audience, or maybe you like the design. Like, jot those things down and then figure out how you can make that kind of impression on your audience, but make it you. So people want to know you for you, but you can still take inspiration from other people's photos. But your authentic voice really, truly is your superpower. We're going to keep coming back to that. Don't post something just to post something, right? Like, this is what I did a lot in the beginning, and what I see a lot of new coaches doing is like, I would just sort of Google an idea or a phrase and then just pick one of the images that Google has and just post it. And it's okay. Like, you know, all of these things are okay to do sometimes, and you're going to do them in the beginning. But if you just grab an image off Google, a lot of times it's one that's already been circulated a lot, so people may have already seen it. It's not coming from an authentic you, unless you put your own story with it. That's one way to improve upon it. But I put this picture here as an example because this is something that I posted actually fairly recently, when I was in that frame of mind where I had to post something, or I felt like, oh, I don't have a post, and I just grabbed something, and guess what? It was like, got zero engagement. So it's too generic. It doesn't really add value. People have probably seen that image before, and it just looks like something everyone else is posting. So it's not going to draw anybody to you. Okay, don't post salesy items all over your wall. So this also might seem obvious, but you know, when you're posting photos like straight from Beachbody, or posting about product, then you start looking like every other network marketer who's out there. And the last thing that Beachbody wants, the last thing that we want as a team, is to sound like the other MLMs, like Lashes or the Nails or whatever. Like, people are not following you to buy a product. They're following you to get the value that you're offering. That's your unique, whatever it is that you have to uniquely offer. So share your story. Don't sell Beachbody products, because people who want to buy Beachbody products, they're just going to go to the website or Amazon. They're not going to come to you unless you are connecting with them with your authentic voice. Okay, and then this is a great one because I think this is super important. Do not post about complaints or struggles without a solution. So I put this on just as like a funny little example, but you know, people who post things on their wall like, oh, this happened today and this totally blows, like today sucks, you know, that's gonna actually cause you to lose followers, and people are not going to understand why they should trust you or be involved with you. So your mission as a Beachbody coach is to inspire, uplift, empower, and encourage others. So if you are sharing a struggle, which you should, and we'll get to that in a little bit, but ask yourself if you're ending with one or all of the above messages. And if you're not, then maybe you should rethink whether it's something that you want to share. Not that it's like never okay to complain, but I think when you're building a public image, you're building a brand. And I would say, as a general rule, while you're building your brand and while you're getting yourself out there, just don't post anything negative at all. You know, once you've got thousands of followers, if there's like an appropriately timed rant or something that you need to put on your page that's negative, then, you know, then maybe you're in a position where you could consider that. But right now, when you're starting out, like, stay positive. And if you are posting about a struggle, then you need to post your solution to the struggle and somehow tie it into Beachbody and how that's helping you overcome. So we'll get to that too.
Love that tip so much. Thank you.
Super important. Okay, so what do you want to post on Facebook? You want to post clean and attractive photos. So back to the beginning, like, make sure you have good light, make sure it's in focus. The surroundings are clean and simple. Like, cleaner is better. So for example, you know, if you're posting a picture of food in your kitchen, like, make sure there's nothing in the background like trash or, you know, whatever, scraps of whatever, dirty dishes. Like, you know, make a simple effort to just set it on a clean cutting board or maybe under a colorful tablecloth or napkin. You know, have fun, like, play around and make it look cute. You really don't have to do that much or be a professional at all to make sure that it looks clean and simple. And then edit your photo a little bit. You know, even right on your iPhone, you can edit it, but in a lot of the apps, you can also edit the light, change the shadows, and just make it look cleaner. So for text on photo apps, I put my favorites on here: PicLab, Photify, WordSwag, and PicMonkey, which is actually a website on your computer, not for your phone. But if you're on your computer, PicMonkey is a good one to use. Do get creative based on inspiration you see from other coaches. So kind of going back to, you know, not copying from other people, but taking ideas from other people and making them yours. So this was a picture from a post I did a little while back when I was babysitting my nephew. And I just, you know, I actually don't post a lot about my family because my family has some really difficult, really uncomfortable dynamics. And my nephew's disabled, and my parents care for him full time because my brother is an alcoholic addict. And so it's really difficult and kind of sensitive. And so I haven't posted much on Facebook about my family, about my nephew, but I did this one little post because I had a really sweet day with him. And I'm always just on the lookout for, like, how can I turn this experience into something positive and uplifting? So that's what I mean when I say start viewing your life through the lens of a coach, is that, you know, all day long when you're kind of living your life, snap a photo of what you're doing and pay attention to those little moments in your head, like aha moments, like, oh gosh, I never saw it that way before, or whatever. I keep a little notebook in my purse too, because I'm a pen and paper kind of girl. So I'll keep a little notepad. And when I think of something, like, you know, I have some aha moment or some realization, or I see something in the store that's a healthy food that I haven't bought before, just whatever, simple things, I just jot down ideas and I take pictures of a lot of things so that I kind of always have content potential content saved, because you're definitely going to have those days where you're like, ugh, I just have nothing to say today. I'm feeling totally blah, I don't know what to post. You want to have those potential content, saved. So like every night when I cook, I take a picture of it, even if I don't share it that night, because I know I can go back later and at least do a food post or something. So capture your life and save the photos for content. And again, play with it, try to think about, sometimes I'll actually take pictures of stuff and I won't have anything to say about it until later when I'm thinking back, and I think like, oh yeah, that experience was kind of cool. Or maybe I wouldn't have been able to do that if I wasn't a coach and I didn't have this free time. So, which is kind of what I posted about in this post, was that before, when I was a lawyer, and my family needed help with my nephew, I have a lot of emotional difficulty around helping them just because of my relationship with my brother. And when I was a lawyer, I definitely didn't have the time or mental space to get over that and help them. But now that my life is less stressful because I am coaching and I'm doing something that lets me take care of me, I can get over that and set that aside enough to help out sometimes. And that feels good. That's like progress. So that's where my heart was at when I did that post.
Thank you for sharing that. I know that probably it was hard to even state on this call tonight. It's hard to open up. So thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So think of your life as a reality show. Let people in. So it's hard to be vulnerable for sure. And I'm not saying you have to like let out all your deepest, darkest secrets on Facebook. I haven't even said what I just told you guys. I haven't said that on Facebook yet. And I don't know if it's appropriate to, because it involves other people's privacy. But I guess my point is that be vulnerable with the things that you can be, and let people see a glimpse into your life, because that's what's going to attract people to you. And then post with intention. So intention doesn't have to be something so serious and personal as what I just shared. It can be simple and fun. And you want to be sure that you're just mixing those posts up in a strategic way. So maximizing your engagement with simple questions. This particular photo I put up was just from a silly post that I didn't even think people would really respond to, but it was a dress that I had gotten from Stitch Fix in the mail, and I wasn't sure if I liked it. So I just put a post up like, hey, I don't know about this dress. It's kind of baggy, but I kind of like it. What do you guys think? And it got like a bazillion comments, and people were super engaged. And every time I post anything about my clothes, I get a lot of engagement, which is funny because I'm like totally not fashion oriented at all, and I don't know what I'm doing. But I kind of post in that way, like, help, I don't know what I'm doing with fashion. Can you guys help me? And then everyone chimes in, and it's kind of fun. So when I want to bring a little bit more attention to my page, I'll post something about my outfits, and it seems to work. And what that does is it just reminds people that you're there, and they might click and just sort of scroll through your page at that point, or just re-engage with you. And it gives you a chance to see, oh, look at all these people that liked this. And now you've got people to add to your list of, if you're thinking, who can I message this week? Oh, I'm stuck, do something that will get a lot of engagement. And then there you go. You've got a whole list of people you can send a message to. So your intention could be to maximize engagement with something silly like that, or share your struggle and how Beachbody's helped you. And then, rotate your topics so that you reach more people. Some people follow my page all the time, but the only time they ever comment is when I post about clothes. I don't know why, they just don't comment on the other stuff. But that gives me a chance to reach those people where, I wouldn't if I was only just posting about food and fitness all the time. So do share your story. Like, you are completely 100% unique. Like, how cool is that? I mean, I had a coach just recently ask me, she signed up just a couple months ago, and she asked me this question. She was like, so this might sound like a silly question, but like, do you think that the market is like too saturated for me to come in? Like, because we both know people from yoga, and like, I don't know, how many coaches is there room for? And I was like, yes, girl, there is like room for everybody, because you are going to offer something that I cannot offer. All of us are going to offer something that none of the other people can offer. Like, you have a unique combination of things that makes you, that people out there are just waiting for you to pop on the scene and you to be the one to invite them. Like, it's just, there's an infinite combination of things that are going to make you able to connect with certain people that no one else can. So just go forward confidently with that knowledge and share what those things are. So it's good to get those things down in writing so that you kind of know what are you going to be sharing about, like on a consistent basis. So I just listed my 5 things: clean cooking, a dog mom, health and fitness obviously is one. I was a lawyer and I had a dream of living this life of freedom, and then uplifting and empowering women and embracing our imperfections. So that's why I put this little photo about embracing your imperfections. It was a post I did recently that got some good attention. So yeah, and then sharing your personal struggle and how you are thriving despite your personal struggle. So kind of relating back to like the what I said about don't complain or share a struggle unless you have a solution. Like you can talk about other solutions, but it's a perfect segue for you to talk about how Beachbody is changing your life for the better. Like, I don't care what struggle you're going through, being a part of this community, this Beachbody community, it can offer you a solution for almost anything, honestly. Like, even if it's some sort of life struggle or depression or whatever, you can talk about the community and how being a part of uplifting community of women helps you. You can talk about the nutrition if you have health problems. You can talk about, the exercise and how it relieves your stress. Like, there's so many things that Beachbody offers you that you want to be sure that you're addressing those on your page so that you're like attracting those people that have the same struggles to you. So some people are going to be attracted to my posts about nutrition and how Shakeology has helped me with nutrition. But some people are going to be attracted to, me being able to be free and out of the lawyer, like out of the grind, the daily grind of my lawyer job, and wondering how they can do that. So yeah, there's like all different, you really can share Beachbody in like a bazillion different ways. And that's what's so cool. So yeah, I'm sharing a struggle with a solution. I was getting ahead of myself. But this is your money post, because this is where people who are needing help in their life, they're going to be looking for a solution. So the solution could be any of those things that I just talked about, because people want to know why they should trust you, and they're going to trust you because they've been through something similar as you. So this particular picture I posted when I shared about my infertility journey, which I wasn't sure I was going to share on Facebook, but which I decided could be, an opportunity for me to connect with people who are going through something similar. And I tried to focus it on like how Beachbody was helping me through that struggle, like not only with the community, but also with bouncing back from going through in vitro fertilization and losing the weight from that I gained from that, and just getting my hormones rebalanced, like all of those things. It was really hard to open up about, but when I decided to just go for it, I was literally flooded with love and support. It was crazy. Like, I did it in an effort to reach other women and help other women, but really it ended up helping me and carrying me through some really bad news around that. And it opened me up. It opened up connections with like tons more people for me, like women who are, now asking me about health and fitness stuff and starting to follow what I'm doing on Facebook. So you never know what other people are going through or how much strength you can give them by just being open about your own struggle. Shared experiences at the root of human connection, so don't be afraid to be vulnerable. And then post thoughtful ads that reflect who you are. So when it's time for you to post like a what is coaching post or a challenge group offer or recruit in some way, show who you are. Like, you're going to see all kinds of coaches posting ads, and a lot of them can look kind of similar. So I chose this photo from Amy Silverman. She's a coach that I love following because she is kind of who I used to be in my early hippie days. She kind of reminds me of myself. She's like, used to be kind of crazy and party a lot, and now she's sober and she is like leading this life of adventure. So I kind of relate to her, which is why I chose her, because she's like this coach who posts about a life of freedom and wanderlust, and she's not a mom, but she has a Great Dane like me. So anyways, I love her stuff. And so I chose her because I think she's a little bit more unique in the way that she goes about posting her stuff. But it just goes to show that there's space for everyone. Like, you can 100% be who you are when you're posting. And that's how you're going to help people. Like you're going to help more people by being authentically you than by doing anything else, because you're going to attract the people who can relate. And that's how you're going to build trust and engagement and build your team. And that's who you want to work with anyways, right? So it's a win-win. So do stay consistent too. Post 3 to 5 times a day, and you want to shoot for the high traffic times. So early morning when people are having their coffee, lunch hour, late afternoon, and then after 9 p.m. is a really good time because people are on, relaxing, watching TV or in bed with their phones or whatever. And then, yeah, I said that earlier, but capture potential content always so you have material ready to go. And do share posts that add value. So I love, Shalene Johnson has this tip where she says to ask yourself if you would share this if you saw it on someone else's wall. I love that, because you don't want to only ask yourself, well, maybe will people like this, or does this say something about me? But ask if it adds value. Like, is it something that somebody would want to pass on to their friend? So like a recipe or a video with a tip, something that will improve someone's life or help them with something they're struggling with, or help them, with ideas for healthy snacks or whatever it is. But just do something that adds value to them. And that is all I have, unless you guys have questions. See.
That's just all you have. That's it. I mean, I myself was taking a ton of notes, and I was having like a few amen moments, but I didn't want to keep interrupting you. But I think that your perspective is so right on with A, being true to yourself, B, bringing out the best content that you have, and C, making sure everything you do is timely. And all of this stuff is going to take time, and it's going to take commitment to becoming a really good student of what we do. But it's possible for all of us to be amazing at social media, and it's possible for all of us to have an incredible Facebook presence and to attract people and not have to chase people. And so I just wanted to reemphasize that. But does anyone have a question for Rachel and they want to unmute and ask her? I'm sure she would answer. Mm-hmm. Pretty awesome. Like, did you guys just feel like a warm feeling in your heart? Like you got a lot of great ideas, but then again, you were like, yes, that's what I've been trying to say, but I couldn't figure it out. But Rachel just shared, it was a great balance of, emotion and I know what it was. The great balance of the how and the why. Good job, Rachel. So
thank you.
Anyone have a question? Or you can ask any one of the leaders on our team. We have some amazing leaders on the team on this call right now, and I won't call you out and single you out because you guys hate when I do that. But this is your chance. If something has been burning in your heart and you're like, I need to know this about coaching, you got us online right now.
I've got a question for Rachel.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Hi,
Wendy. Hi, Rachel. I was wondering if you could share a little bit about how you built your audience. I mean, over and above inviting people that you know through friends and things like that, like reaching people that you maybe didn't previously know to add to your audience.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think the way that Facebook has it now, you really do have to pay to boost some things and run ads on your page. And that usually gets you a lot of new likes if you're strategic about it. So in the beginning, when I started, I think I had 550 Facebook friends on my regular friends page. So when I started my like page, I definitely invited everyone to like my like page, which they didn't right away, but every so often I would go back and invite those people again. And then I also spent some time navigating Facebook as my like page. So this is a little tricky, but you can use Facebook as Rachel in Shape. I'm just going to say mine, for this example. And as Rachel in Shape, I liked a bunch of other commercial pages. And then when I'm on my Rachel in Shape homepage using Facebook as Rachel in Shape, I can interact with other like pages as Rachel in Shape, which just allows my exposure to be increased because other people who are commenting see that I've commented. So that's one thing you can do. You can I think honestly, the times that I get the most surges of new likes is when I'm boosting something like a free group, a free clean eating group. I'll always boost that. And usually just with a $5 or $10 boost, you end up getting a lot of engagement from people who didn't know you before, and then a lot of new likes. And then when you have a post that does really well and you've got a lot of engagement, always open up, like, it'll say below the post, so-and-so and 58 others like this. Click on the 58 others, and it'll show you a list of all the people, and it'll say invite people who liked this post to like your page. And then you can see who liked it already and who hasn't, and you just click on invite and make sure all those people are invited to like your page. So those are just some of the things I do. It does take time, but I think it's worth spending $5 here and there to boost a post, because that's really the best way to grow your page over time, and it's not that costly. So that's what I do.
Awesome feedback with that one. Yeah, for sure. You want to, the way Facebook is set up right now is that they want you to invest a little bit, but be strategic about how you invest. If you invest into your boosted posts being something that is asking for people to commit monetarily, you don't get a ton of likes with those. But if you boost a post based on something that's adding value, like a recipe, a workout tip, something like that, or something that shares a really motivational story that is, this is me, this is who I am, follow me for this kind of reason, you get a ton of followers on that boosted post, because people are like, I like you, I get you, I want to follow you, because we click. And then you can add them as friends. And then you can start messaging them and say, hey, we have a lot in common. We may as well be friends. Are you into fitness? Is this your industry you're in? Or are you just working on your own goals? I love meeting like-minded people. And that opens up loads of conversations for you. And it doesn't require a lot. Because we got to remember, guys, our overhead on this business is low. So spending time and money on becoming super knowledgeable and, suave on this whole field is really, really, really important. Myra asked a question. Should you do your personal page, personal feed, or your like page? Honestly, you can give your opinion, but mine is that you have to do both. You really have to do both in the beginning until you get a strong foundation on your like page. So Rachel, you can give what you think.
That's another way to get people over to your like page, is if you share something on your personal page and then you type in the name of your like page at the end, it'll go blue and people can then click over to your like page. So if I post anything on my personal page, I always end it with Rachel in Shape, so my link is there. But I mostly post on my like page, honestly. I don't post very much on my personal page at all, because I kind of want to keep it separate. But once in a while I'll post something up on my personal page, like if it's an event, a challenge group ad or whatever, I'll post it on both, just so that, because more people do see it on your personal page, but just make sure you have a link back to your like page.
Somebody asked what editors that you use, and I think that she had that on one of the slides if you want to watch it back, but PicMonkey, WordSwag, Photify, those are all great ones to use. Text on Photo, Pick, Play, Post is my favorite on iPhone as far as collages go and workout videos. Mm-hmm. Or use your iMovie if you're an i person. iPhone, if you're an iPhone, Mac person, use iMovie if you want to create movies and videos where it's at. But just backing what she said up really quick is there has to be two things. Quality. So you're adding value, like give them a reason. Don't just say chocolate's good. I mean, what does that give people? Right? Duh. Or I hate today. That adds nothing to your audience. Or my kids are driving me crazy. I don't know how many times I see coaches post like that. Like, I am so tired. I've had the worst morning. It's been awful all day. And then the next post from them is, I have a challenge group starting on this day. Why would someone join you? No one is going to join you. So when you're posting, this is a business. It's the storefront. If you had an employee that showed up like hungover, or not even hungover, tired, ragged, you would be like, go home. You are not representing my store today with that condition, that aura, that vibe. Leave, because you are not bringing out the best of what we offer. And that's what you have to do every day with Facebook. So here's a tip that I have that I hope I'm not stepping on your toes, Rachel. But you have to be consistent with your quality. Remember that. Be consistent with the quality that you offer. Realize that things that are going to push you outside your comfort zone are probably the things you need to be posting right now, like video tutorials or your very best edited posts and photos. So if you see a really good quote, don't share somebody else's, because when you share someone else's post, you realize you give them more affinity and you lessen yours. So you take the idea, you remake it on your own photo, and then you share it as your own during your peak time. But video tutorial is hot right now if it's quality content and something like that people would go, oh, I didn't think of that, or oh my gosh, that's hilarious, or thank you for sharing that. Those are the things people really want to see. So it's consistent quality. Now, when you're like, if I'm asking you to say, hey, you need to have the best quality post at 7 a.m., noon, and then again at 6 p.m. and 9 p.m., that is just asking way too much from you. Honestly, it really, 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 really is. So what I'm asking you, though, is when you get like, oh, inspired, come up and create a few different posts and put them in a file so you can save them for a future date. That way you can pre-schedule posts on your like page and have them ready to go. Or boom, save them on your phone in the notes section, or have the photos already edited for you. And when you have to, set a timer and, oh, it's noon, shoot, I have nothing inspiring going on in my life right now. Crap, what am I going to post? Boom, look in your phone or in your notes section. You're like, yes, I have a pre-made post. I'm going to share that today. Does that make sense? This is our job description. Your doors are open on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, and I like what you said, Emma, about it's the storefront. So, for example, when you're planning your month and you're like, okay, my next challenge group starts in 2 weeks, or let's say 3 weeks. It starts in 3 weeks, so I'm going to start promoting it in a week. And when you start promoting, you're not even talking about, oh, I have this group, join my group, join my group. You need to spend a week like strategically posting things about how and why the challenge group is making your life awesome or your challengers' lives awesome. So just post things like, oh gosh, I didn't want to do my workout today, but I'm so glad I have this group to hold me accountable, because with them, I never miss a day. Like, I know they're counting on me and it's so great, keeps me motivated. And then put another post about like, oh, this recipe I made tonight was so awesome. I'm so glad that I got this idea from my group, blah, blah, blah. Or just got a message today from a challenger who lost 5 pounds, and she's so, these messages make my day. Because then people are watching and they're seeing like, oh, what's this group? Like, that sounds cool. I might want to be a part of it. So that when you do post your invite, or you're like, this is a lot about the book Jab, Jab, Right Hook talks about this. But then when you do post your ad, like, okay, my next challenge group starts on this day, people kind of know what you're talking about. They know like why that group is beneficial because they've been watching you hint about it,
I love that. You just did a total full circle back to what your original point was with this entire message, which is be completely authentic to your message. And when you have purpose and planning with what you're trying to do, and you're mapping out your business plan with posting and things, then guess what happens? You are living up to your true authenticity rather than A, like being frantic in the moment, or B, copying someone else, because you're going to see someone else post about their challenge group and then you're going to go, oh my gosh, I didn't post about my challenge group in the last 5 minutes. Oh, that's such a good post. I'm going to copy it. Don't do that. But this business is awesome when you lead with your heart and you're strategic. Like the combination of those two things are really, it's an impossible force to stop. So anyway, okay, y'all, we've had a really great call tonight. I hope that you guys got something. I know I did. And this is something that is going to be a game changer. So get this call in the hands of every person on your team, every person that you're working with as a success partner, and say, hey, how can we be a force of freaking nature on Facebook? we are going to be the go-to page to watch and figure that out with how can you bring out who you are? Because you know what? God did not make you to be somebody that is silent and passive and somebody that is going to be passed by. That's not how God makes us. We are all super special. We have something really unique to offer, and we have people out there that need to hear from us. They need our message. So how can you get it to them? That's what we're trying to do here, folks. So thanks for being on the call tonight. If you have any other questions, post them in Fierce Fit. Thank you all. Bye-bye.